South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has placed the country's top policeman on precautionary suspension after he was charged in court on Tuesday. Jenfani Masemola, 62, is alleged to have failed in his oversight duties in connection with the awarding of a controversial 21 metres and 15.5 metres health contract, which has become the subject of a criminal investigation and has since been cancelled. That US President Donald Trump has said next week's state visit from King Charles and Queen Camilla could help repair relations with the UK. When asked in a phone interview with the BBC whether the visit could help repair the relationship, Trump said, "Absolutely, he's fantastic. He's a fantastic man. Absolutely, the answer is yes." That, for Mauro Recalado Cortez, a Catholic lay teacher in Angola, the unique opportunity to see Pope Leo XIV in person was unmissable, even though serious illness should have confined him to bed. "My visual contact with the Holy Father was a unique moment. It transmitted such a great physical and spiritual lightness that the feeling of satisfaction doesn't end," told CNN about his experience of seeing the papal car pass by outside Luanda International Airport shortly after Leo's arrival on Saturday.
And the European Union on Thursday approved a massive loan package to help Ukraine meet its economic and military needs for 2 years, the bloc Cypriot presidency said, after oil began flowing through a key pipeline to Hungary and Slovakia and ending months of political deadlock. The EU also approved a new raft of sanctions against Russia over its war on Ukraine, and the measures were prepared early this year and set to be announced in February to mark the 4th anniversary of the conflict, but Hungary and Slovakia opposed the move. And Turkish MPs have passed a bill that includes restricting access to social media platforms for children under 15, according to state media. The legislation is the latest in a global trend aimed at protecting young people from dangerous online activity, following in the footsteps of Australia, which introduced landmark restrictions on social media use last year.
That. Warner Bros. Discovery shareholders have backed the company's proposed $110 BN merger with Paramount Skydance, but cast advisory vote against executive compensation plans tied to the deal. Per a preliminary vote count on Thursday, the overwhelming majority of Warner Bros. Discovery shareholders voted in support of selling the entire business to Paramount for $31 a share, the company said. Including debt, the deal is valued at nearly $111 BN. That. The Iran war will push more than 30 million people back into poverty, with the knock-on effects of the conflict likely to increase food insecurity in the coming months. The United Nations has warned disruption to fuel and fertilizer supplies due to the ongoing blocking of cargo vessels through the Strait of Hormuz has already lowered agricultural productivity and will hit crop yields. Later this year, the UN's development chief said on Thursday that. Launched in 2021 when the company was still known as Twitter, communities were meant to provide the social network's users with a place to connect with each other around shared interests. Now, X is shutting down the feature for good, saying it was overrun with spam and a headache to manage. Plus, noted X's head of product, Nikitia Bier. Hardly anyone was using them.
And earlier in April, the startup Era Computer held a gathering of artists who had received its developer kit in New York. The artists showed off the various mini gadgets they had built, like a souvenir that tells you facts and jokes about France, and a phone-like device that looks at your stocks and tells if today is the day you can quit your job, or a gadget that tells you about air quality. While all these devices are experimental, the common thread is Era's platform, and which allows hardware makers to create AI agents and orchestrations for AI devices. The company doesn't want to create devices itself, but aims to enable others to do so by providing a software layer that could handle tasks like customized voice creation or adding intelligence to a classic device, such as headphones. And the National Emergencies Operations Center, NEOC, of the National Disaster Management Authority, NDMA, has issued an advisory warning of a heatwave and adverse weather conditions across multiple regions of Pakistan in the coming days. According to the advisory, a severe heatwave is expected to persist until May 5, particularly affecting Sindh, southern Punjab, and parts of Balochistan. Islamabad. Amid murmurs of divisions within the PTI, not a single party leader arrived at Adiala jail on Thursday, one of 2 days on which former Premier Imran Khan is allowed visitors. The Islamabad High Court has allowed Imran twice-a-week meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays with his family lawyers and other associates. Despite the order, the ex-premier has been largely restricted from meeting visitors for several months as the court's directives have not been implemented. And a total of 518 people died in Tanzania from unnatural causes in the wake of widespread protests that followed last year's general election, the Commission of Inquiry set up to investigate the violence has announced. However, Commission Chairman Mohammed Chande Othman did not say who was responsible for the deaths and recommended further investigations.
That. Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders have approved the company's $111 BN 80T2BN takeover by Paramount in a deal which could drastically alter the media landscape. The deal will see Skydance owner Paramount take control of all of Warner Brothers titles and channels, which include Harry Potter, Game of Thrones and news network CNN.
And the United States and Israel's war on Iran has pushed up the price of nearly everything. In the early days of the war, the global supply of oil, gas and fertilizers was the main focus of this crisis. And FIFA's decision to release the latest tranche of World Cup tickets, coinciding with the 50-day countdown mark for the tournament, has left fans more frustrated than excited in advance of the biggest sporting event in the world. And football's global governing body announced yet another last-minute ticket phase on Wednesday, with tickets for all 104 matches available on a first-come, first-served basis. Tickets are available in the 3 previously open categories and as well as the new front category pricing it added this month.
That President Donald Trump has said he ordered the United States Navy to shoot and kill any Iranian boat laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz, a move that could jeopardize the fragile ceasefire between the two countries. The U.S. president also said on Thursday that the military will heighten its efforts to remove explosives from the strategic waterway. That. The story of embattled compliance Delve keeps hitting twists and turns. TechCrunch has confirmed that Delve was the compliance company that performed the security certifications for Context AI, the AI agent training startup that last week disclosed a security incident which led to a data breach at popular app and website hosting giant Vercel. That. App and website hosting giant Vercel on Thursdays said hackers had accessed some of its customers' data before the company discovered its recent data breach, suggesting that this incident may have broader security implications than initially known. In an update on its security incident page, Vercel said it had identified evidence of malicious activity on its network preceding the early April breach after it expanded its initial investigation.
And the Philippines has millions of unbanked adults, and its consumer lending market is starting to catch up. Salmon, a Manila-based consumer finance app, and just raised $60 million in equity and $40 million in debt to bring digital banking to Filipinos. Salmon was founded by Pavel Fedorov, George Chesakov, and Rafi Montemayor, all of whom previously worked at Russian Digital Bank and Tinkoff. Montemayor was, in fact, Tinkoff's first employee in the Philippines and led the company's expansion in the country since 2016. In March 2022, the three parted ways with Tinkoff and launched Salmon. And Lenovo has officially launched the ThinkPad T14 Gen 7, quietly replacing last year's ThinkPad T14 Gen 6. The laptop was first shown at MWC 2026, but sales have now started in select markets. And the entry-level model includes an Intel Core i5-325 processor. It comes with 16 gigabytes of LPCM2 memory and a 256 gigabytes PCIe Gen 4 SSD. And the standard model also includes a 60 watt-hour of battery and a 14-inch IPS display with 1200p resolution. And Xiaomi has introduced a new version of its tablet in China called the Redmi Pad 2 Pro Learning Edition. The device is based on the Redmi Pad 2 Pro launched in September 2025, but this model is positioned more directly towards students. The Redmi Pad 2 Pro Learning Edition features a 12.1-inch display with 2.5K resolution and a 120Hz refresh rate. And Xiaomi has used matte glass on the screen to reduce glare, which is intended to help during extended study sessions. And the Sindh Education Department has issued new instructions to private schools regarding fee collection after the start of the 2026-27 academic year. Additional Director Registration Rafia Javid said the academic session began on April 1 and directed schools not to charge matric students beyond March 2026, as they are currently appearing in examinations.
That Pakistan rejected Indian propaganda linking it to the 2025 Pahalgam attack on Thursday, deploring that the neighboring country was focusing on weaponizing its false narrative in the midst of an ongoing regional crisis. The April 22 That 2025 attack in Pahalgam saw 26 people, mostly tourists, killed in what is being described as the deadliest armed attack in the disputed Himalayan region since the year 2000. New Delhi blamed the attack on Pakistan without any evidence. That, for its part, Pakistan strongly denied the allegations and called for a neutral investigation.
And the National Disaster Management Authority, NDMA, through its National Emergencies Operations Centre, NEOC, on Thursday issued a nationwide alert warning of an intense heat wave in several regions until May 5. The authority also forecast rain, windstorms and thunderstorms in parts of the country between April 24 and 29. The NDMA urged the authorities and citizens to activate response measures and take precautionary steps. And the US Department of Justice said on Thursday that it was immediately loosening restrictions on some marijuana products and accelerating the process of reclassifying the drug as less dangerous in one of the biggest changes to US drug policy in decades. The Trump administration immediately moved FDA-approved marijuana products and state-regulated medical marijuana from a group of drugs classified as highly addictive to one that has a low to moderate potential for abuse. And on a bright Tehran spring day, Sanaa Ghaznavi Street, with its mix of shops selling groceries and household goods alongside fast food and flowers, seems like an everyday place. In a country where lives have long been buffeted by crises, it is a snapshot of a people just trying to get through the day while their future hangs on forces beyond their control. And after months of speculation and delays, officials have announced that the teen girl found in Singer D. Veed's car died from multiple penetrating injuries. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office on Wednesday announced that they'd ruled Celeste Rivas Hernandez's death a homicide, noting that the 14-year-old died of injuries caused by an undisclosed object or objects.
That Mr. Beast's media company has been sued by a former employee over claims of sexual harassment and workplace gender bias. The 27-year-old, real name Jimmy Donaldson, is the world's most followed YouTuber and employs more than 500 people.
And the US Department of Justice has officially reclassified cannabis as less dangerous, marking a major shift in the country's drug policy. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche on Thursday changed the classifications of products containing marijuana that are covered by the Food and Drug Administration or that have received a state medical marijuana license. They will move from a Schedule 1 narcotic like heroin to a Schedule 3 drug on par with Tylenol with codeine. And the United States Senate has taken the first steps towards reopening the Department of Homeland Security after approving a budget framework that would fund immigration enforcement agencies. Despite opposition from the Democrats, the department has been partially shut down since mid-February after Democrats demanded policy changes following the fatal shootings of 2 protesters by federal agents and Alex Pretty by federal agents in Minneapolis in January.